Myself, Dr. R. Kirtika, Assistant Professor and Coordinator of today's event. In this occasion, it's my privilege and pleasure to invite you all on behalf of KIT CIII for organizing a webinar on successful career ahead, exclusive for KIT students. First of all, I wholeheartedly thank our management, principal, vice principal, deans, and HODs of various departments for supporting us to conduct webinars. A special thanks to our Dean, Dr. Mahalakshmi ma'am, for organizing this event. I hope definitely it will be useful to all of you. Now, I welcome our Dean, KIT CIII, Dr. K. Mahalakshmi ma'am, to introduce our guest.
Thank you, Kirtika. Good morning to one and all. Good morning, Suresh sir. It's really I'm honored and privileged to introduce you. Mr. Suresh D is currently CEO, Spark Minda Technical Center, Minda Corporation Limited, and Group CTO of Spark Minda Group. Spark Minda is a leading automotive Tier 1 in India with a strong manufacturing presence globally. He is spearheading the group companies and playing role of transformation from build to print to technology and system solutions supplier. His team comprises of 500 plus engineers, professionals are driving the change successfully in the area of security systems, connected mobility, electric vehicle solutions, infotainment systems, sensors and electronic control units. He is also the driving force for the technology transformation and portfolio management of the group, along with the advanced technology career setup in Pune. He is a member of the executive committee of Spark Minda Group and core committee of the merger and acquisitions of the group as well. Before taking up the role with the Spark Minda Group, Mr. Suresh sir was with the Bosch for nearly 15 years, playing various leadership roles. His last role at Bosch was as Chief of R&D Gasoline Systems and Two-Wheeler Powertrain Systems. He was successfully leading an international R&D team at Bosch, Germany, with members from multiple geographies. Prior to Bosch, he served at Precall Limited as manager R&D involving automotive clusters, sensors and infotainment systems. Mr. Suresh sir has over 25 years of rich experience in the field of engineering, business solutions, engineering services, research and development, and product development also. His expertise includes automotive embedded systems, powertrain systems, electronic fuel injection and transmission systems, engine control units, body control units, sensors, genset control systems, infotainment and instrument clusters, vehicle access system, electronic fare meters and telematics system. Mr. Suresh sir was also instrumental for the foundation and setup of the electronic hardware and product development know-how at Bosch Engineering, Bangalore and Coimbatore. He was responsible for the growth of R&D team of 1000 plus engineers executing various Indian and international automotive OEM programs. He spearheaded setting up a strong product and design team and related infrastructure from scratch at Bosch Engineering, Coimbatore. Amongst his major achievements, development of innovative products for Indian market stand out the most, like ECU for Tata Anno, Common Rail ECU for IOEM's distributor pump system ECUs, 2WEF system solutions, electronic fare meters, genset control systems, and keyless entry systems in two-wheelers, intelligent transport system for buses, telematic devices, digital controls, BCMs, various vehicle access solution, electronic vehicle components such as DC converters, chargers, motor controllers, Vehicle Control Unit. Mr. Suresh was awarded a BE in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Bharathiar University, Coimbatore in the year 1994. His hobbies include spending time in gardening and nature, wildlife conservation, and lots of travel, domestic and international. It's indeed a great privilege, sir, to have you among us for another 1.5 hours. My students are going to be cherished with your expertise sharing. Welcome you, sir, and over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mahalakshmi, Dr. Mahalakshmi, ma'am. It's a great pleasure for me. I'm really honored and very happy. I can say two parts. I think one is that you were asking this event for a very, very long time, and at least I'm feeling that I'm able to fulfill. I think you were requesting why can't you, sir, come over sometime to be with my students and give your experience, and I'm happy that at least I'm able to meet that today. Secondly, personally, I being a Coimbaturian, lived in Coimbatore. Just a second, I will also accept the people. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
lived in Coimbatore, and taking part in such event and addressing the students is really cheerful for me. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving this opportunity. It's my great pleasure today to be with the students and give my experience. I just want to say that I'm not a kind of a trainer for giving a successful career ahead as a topic, but this topic just came in when ma'am asked me, so what you can do. Then I felt that this is a one area where I felt that it would make sense for people in the college. Can accept. I think some people are waiting, I guess.
You can say admit all
Oh,
there
okay. I will next time. I will do that.
instead of individually admitting.
Okay, right. So and okay. So it's my great pleasure again to give this experience. And as I said, I'm not a real trainer who can give a career guidance to the people. But what I have come across in this 25 years of my career, my total breed is automotive, and within automotive, engineering and R&D is my core area. So I've grown in automotive. I live in automotive, I can say. So, and this is an experience I felt that can share with you. I was also like you, maybe 25 years before, just came out fresh from a college, and I was also thinking where to move ahead, which direction to move, how to move, so then I got some good guidance those time, and I felt that I should reflect the same to you guys, and I'm sure you will get some benefit out of this. Thanks, Dr. Mahalakshmi, ma'am, for giving this opportunity. Uh, I like to say a few words before I start. What is success? I know many people say success, and what does the success means? And many people think that success is the one where you achieve something. Yes, I agree. If you achieve a small milestone, it can also be a success. But when you achieve an accomplishment, yeah, one of your big dreams, if you can achieve, and you achieve a purpose, I think that's a success. I can say that. And this doesn't come simply, and you have to search for it, and you have to fight for it, and you have to do hard work for that. So the question now in front of us, how I can move ahead successfully in the career. And you are all now a young generation, and with lots and lots of technology in your hand, and our generation is the one which we have seen the huge transformation of technology, and you are going to see much beyond that what we have seen. So my perspective today to share with you on some of the things, like understand the basics. I want to share with you what are the basics that you have to understand, and you have to understand yourselves first. You need to know about you first. The people always talk about street smart people. What is street smartness means? The fourth is that business success factors. When anybody starts a business, or when you run a company, or when you become an entrepreneur, how areas and sorry. Okay. So, what are the business success factors a company is looking for? And talking about the knowledge, creativity, and passion. So, what is knowledge is about, and what is creativity and passion? Dedication, commitment, and hard work, and Q&A. So, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe we can keep little longer time for Q&A. I would be very, very glad to interact with you and to answer your questions. Possibly, I can share my experience. So we can spend more time, maybe around roughly 35-40 minutes. I can run through the slide and spend maybe 15-20 minutes in interacting with you to understand your questions, understand the basics. People always ask me, how to grow fast, how to move up in the ladder fast. I always say that there is no shortcut to success. We have seen in our life that the people who have achieved some of their success in a very, very shortcut method, they failed miserably. Example to say, we all know that the Harshit Mehta, for example, Harshit Mehta was a stockbroker, so he was he got into the financial crime. He earned money in a very, very short time. Very short time, he had pile of cash, but then he got into financial crime, and then he was in prison, and he died in prison. Whatever he earned, he could not spend anything. So there is no shortcut possible. And even if you achieve in shortcut, I think that success will not be a permanent success for you. So it will be a temporary success. So you need to climb the stairs. You have to go in the steps. So padila oru padiya eri poradha success. So how to do that? And for that, I would say that is my experience is that the three things, whatever I said: honesty, truthful, loyalty, and commitment. So these four things is the most important things. And I really think that first one, the honesty, in Tamil we say நேர்மை அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா? அந்த நேர்மைங்கிறது வந்து எதுலையுமே important. I think the way we interact with people, the way we accept others, எதையுமே வந்து if we are be true honest, that things moves well. Because if you are not honest, and if you are not truthful, then the other ecosystem may not accept you. Even if they accept you for a short term, in the long term you will not be successful. So please practice the honesty, and honesty is the one which is very, very long term achievement. Try to practice that. So honesty, truthful, loyal, and committed is the fourth thing. I want to talk to you about the disruption, how the disruptions happen. We have seen, as I was saying, our generation has seen a big disruption. Our times there used to be a huge big television at home. Today we have a wall mounting LED kind of a television. We are talking about curve LED displays and so on. This change not only there, from a big Walkman to a very small tiny portable iPods. So the disruption is happening across all the industries, not only in the automotive, industrial, consumers, everywhere across, the disruption is there. So we all have to prepare for the disruption. Means I request all of you to be tech savvy. Understand, for example, not just knowing about I'm just using a mobile, but understand that what is there in the mobile. Try to understand what is the configuration of the mobile, what kind of a hardware is there, what kind of a software is there, who's the manufacturer, what are the other competitors doing. Try to understand that, go deeper into a topic. This disruption is the one which is going to be the future. The disruption will not stop. It will continue. Whatever we are seeing today, in the years further, it is going to further in the manifold, it is going to increase. We have seen several examples. I can say that Nokia, I don't know how many of you can know the Nokia phones, but in our generation we know the Nokia phones. Very, very popular phone in the year 2000 to 2010. And when somebody wants to buy a mobile phone, we immediately say that Nokia. But today it has got changed to Apple or Samsung, whatever. It's because Nokia did not prepare for the disruption. Are they not aware of it? Maybe they are aware of it, but then they have not prepared for it. So I'm saying you all have to get prepared for the disruption, because you are an engineering community and you are going to work in an engineering area. Please get prepared yourself for the disruption. Many such examples, like Kodak is a company. In our time, the normal camera, where we used to use the films. In Woody, there used to be a film manufacturing factory. And now it is not exist no more. People even don't know where it is. So everything is changed into digital cameras, and Kodak did not get prepared for that such a huge disruption. Whereas you look at companies like Apple, they really prepared for the disruption, and they understood what the people, consumers' expectation is, and they prepared well for that, and they are successful today. So I am sincerely requesting you, please prepare for the disruption, understand deeper into any topics, and update yourselves to the latest, to the market situation. Common sense. People ask, what is common sense? I would say that don't think too much complex. Make a very, very simple approach to the issues. I want to quote this with one of the example which I've read. In Japan, there used to be a company which was making soap. I'm saying this is about 30 years before. And Japanese, they are very quality conscious. And it happened that once they delivered a soap and it went out of the factory and it reached a person, but the soap was not there, only the cover was there, which means the content was not inside. And Japanese were very tensed. The owner of the company was very much annoyed, and he called all the people. He called the engineering, production, manufacturing, all the people, and they were breaking their head how to sense this. I mean, in the manufacturing line, how to sense. And somebody said that, okay, we can keep a weighing machine, and if the weight of the whole soap is less, then we can knock off. And somebody said, no, we should put an infrared sensor there, or ultraviolet, ultra band sensor, whatever maybe, the various ideas. But one of the person who was in the line, who was in the manufacturing, he was a technician. He was coming to the room for serving the coffee or whatever, and he understood the conversation. I said, sir, you don't need to do all this stuff. Why can't you keep a pedestal fan on the line, and the fan can throw the empty packets out? And it was, the people never thought that. It's a common sense, and people always think very, very complex. Started looking complex systems, complex to be solved. Sometimes this is very near to us, closer to you, and you don't know that. So please do not be complex and apply always common sense. Stay hungry, stay foolish. I think this is all know. Steve Jobs said that. I don't want to repeat that. But what is so important with this approach of stay hungry and stay foolish? Your initial career time, the learning curve has to be very, very steep. In the sense, your responsibilities may be less, your ownership levels, accountability levels may be less in the initial career time. So in this time, you need to learn more and more. I want to remind that அவையார் சொன்னது உங்களுக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். கற்றது கைமண் அளவு, கல்லாதது உலகளவு. Keep that always in your mind, and try to learn, read books, many books, and always think that you are a fool. Yeah, you don't know anything. Try to learn as much as possible. That's what this says. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And this learning curve has to be very, very steep for you. I would say maybe in the initial 10 years, I can say that initial 10 years of your career, try to learn as much as possible. Because I will also later on explain the different kind of learning, T-shape and I-shape. But learning anything, it need not be a technical one. It can be a managerial, leadership related, technology related, market related. All these things is going to help you in your career. So stay hungry and stay foolish. Think out of the box. People ask, what is that, sir, out of box? Because I used to attend in many forums. We have an innovation forum. I part of, sometimes I joined as a judge for an innovation forum. Within our team, sometimes we call sometimes an innovation day, idea day. And sometimes I used to see some ideas were really out of the box. Yeah. What is out of the box? I just want to quote with some examples. Again, I use the Nokia phone as an example. In our time, the Nokia phone is very, very heavy. I don't know if somebody of you would have seen that. Very, very heavy phone. Today, the smartphones are very light, but the Nokia phones are very heavy. Why it is heavy? Because once you charge the phone, the charge stays for like 4 or 5 days. You do not put every day like today. We charge our mobile phone every day, but those times not required. One day, if you charge it, stays for 4 or 5 days. And why it is? Because the power of the battery. They use the battery in a way, and also the content in the mobile, the displays and other things were less. So the power consumption was also less. But one of the factor was the battery. The size of the battery was so high. And then the issue came in that when somebody misses the phone from the hand and it falls down on the floor, the display used to break. Why? It's because it's very heavy. So because of the force, it's hitting the ground, it used to fail. So this is annoying again to the founder, and again he called a meeting discussion, and people were debating how to protect this. And some people said, why should we provide that? Why can't it be a charge once in 2 days or 3 days? Why it has to be for a week time? But the founder said, no, I don't want to give my USP. USP, right? Unique selling point. That's one of the reason why the people buy the Nokia phone. I don't want to give away that. So I want that. But still, I want that even if the phone falls down, it should not break. The glass should not break. Then the people were saying, no, we need to do the design, the different housings, the display can go little inside so that it falls down, it cannot hit the ground. And so many such ideas, used to get such a, no, one person simply said, no, not needed. So what is the problem? The weight of the phone is a problem. So can we do something? When the phone touches the ground, can the battery come out? So they come up with an idea, a very simple, a kind of a small glitch, kind of a provision, a protrusion. They did it in the tooling. When the mobile touches the ground, it just expands and the battery comes out of the mobile. Very simple idea, and this was accepted. And even if you can try that mobile phone, if you put the Nokia phone, that battery will come out first, and it is done by design, not by accident. So then the issue of the breaking of the mobile displays was solved. So many such things, like out of the box. I can also quote another example. For example, you all are familiar. India is a country where cricket is what you people say God, right? So I just quote that 2007 T20 experience, where India beat Pakistan, right? 2007. Dhoni was the captain. Dhoni is admired for several things, and he is really a good leader and out of box thinker. I've seen several times. You can watch him during the matches. The way he takes the decisions, and sometimes he thinks out of the box. Many even the first, let's say your IPL match against Mumbai Indians, the way he did it, changing the players and stuff. He coming in, putting some of the new young generations in the first. So like that. I mean, if you look at that 2007 World Cup, there it was the last over. If I am right, it was 13 runs of the last over. 6 balls. The opposition has to go 13 runs. And this was a match against Pakistan. It's always a high-heated match. Now the last over, the choice between bowlers. There was a experienced bowler, which is Harbhajan Singh. He has bowled only 3 overs, 1 over remaining, and he has lots of experience, lots and lots of experience. He has seen several such World Cups, and even opposition may also be worried because he knows the weakness of the even opposition. Whereas another option was the young guy or the new guy, I would say, not young, new, Jokinder Sharma. Yeah, he doesn't have any such a World Cup experience. He's new, and he's the first time he's also in the finals of. But Dhoni chosen Yogendra Sharma. Why? Because that his thinking, of course, after that. Why it is he want to also confuse the opposition. Instead of thinking conventionally, he thought unconventionally. So that's the difference. I think that made the difference, and the people got confused, and then we know the result. What happened on that? So out of box thinking is always important. Next comes understand yourself. உங்களை பத்தி first நீங்க தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். There is a song, no, நீ உன்னை அறிந்தால் உலகத்தில் போராடலாம், right? MGR song, if I'm right. So you need to know about you, right? Why we need to know about yourself? That is 2 reasons. When you know about you, you know your strength, right? உங்களோட strength point என்னன்னு உங்களுக்கு நல்லா தெரியும். Second, you know also your weakness. It's always important that you need to cover your weakness. You have to play with your strength and cover your weakness. That's why the people say that you need to understand yourself. So Another thing is dream. People say, we all know that, late Dr. Abdul Kalam said, dream, 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 and the dream transform into thoughts, and thoughts into result into actions. Why that dream is important, and I can also quote some of the examples of people who are really the people who are dreamed in life and then they grown. I mean, in India itself, you can see, for example, you take Dhirubhai Ambani, a person who was came from very, very poor family, and he was in Middle East, and working in a fuel station, and he came back, and today he is the fourth richest. Yeah, and you just name the field, he is there in every field, and wherever they are there, and he is the leader there in that. It's because he dreamed big, and example, I mean, several examples we can quote. Let's take our H. Vasant Kumar, for example. Yeah, and he had, now around 85 outlets in the consumer domain. And when we look how he started his career, he was not rich, and his father is not rich, his family was not rich, and he started in a very, very small poor family. If you read his earlier time, he used to sell the fan or the small furnitures in his bicycle. And but he dreamed big. He thought he has to achieve a bigger goal, and he was thinking big, and that was not allowing him to sleep, and he is allowing him to work for the dream. So important is that not just only the dreaming, but that into thoughts and actions. And if you're able to do that thoughts and actions, and that result will come automatically. So I request again, dream, and also along with the dream, put some actions behind it. Yeah. Then people comes ask me, in a career, should I be a generalist or a specialist? I'll explain what is generalist and specialist. For example, a generalist, we say in industry, T-shape engineer, or industrialist, specialist, we say I-shape engineer. I-shape is a deep drive technician, whereas generalist is, he knows everything, like a jack of all, and a specialist is a master of all. Hope you understand now. Okay. People ask now, sir, now I'm finishing my career. Should I be a generalist or a specialist? A good question, I think. Because which direction to go? Should I be very, very specialist in one area and go more deeper, or I understand more and more? Yeah. I would say that yes, you need to understand more and more. You need to have a little broader understanding. But in the initial career, be a specialist. This is most important. Because when you started growing in the career, when you become a leader of a team, project leader or a program manager, you need to handle more people, more projects. That time you have to be a generalist. But in the beginning, you need to make your hands dirty. Yeah. You need to make your hands dirty means you need to learn the technology. You need to do programming. You need to make electronics design. You need to understand the Android or iOS development. So please do your specialist thing. Yeah. So this is most important for that. This is my suggestion. But at the same time, have a holistic idea of the topics and become generalist little later in your career. So this is most important, and people have to understand that. And career path, people say which career path I should do, and this always goes with your mind. You need to think which is your mind saying. Somebody may think that, oh, I want to become an R&D guy, I want to become a software coding guy. So, but then please think on it. When you dream, I think you need to think what is the career path which I want to go. So if you are not able to think that career path and you accidentally fell into a career, sometimes it would be a challenge, and then you need to adapt yourself to that. But think what is that your mind is saying, which career path to take, which direction to take, which domain to move forward. Yeah? Sometimes you may happen that you entered in computer science because accident, it may be pressure of your parent, pressure of your, but now it is time for you to think what is the career path which I want to do within the computer science, which is the career path which I want to do. Should I become a specialist of IT or specialist in software or specialist in hardware, wherever, maybe I become also a teacher. I want to become head my direction towards institution. It's also possible, but then be clear with your thought. And this is the thing which is going to live longer with you, because your career is a 60 to 70% of your life. Yeah. So in that life you need to have a cheerfulness within your heart. So you need to get a job which is more aligned to you, more happy to you. It gives you a happy feel. Or so think on your career path in the direction which you want to move. Then I was talking about smartness is the key. People talk about the street smartness. For example, this is the one thing the industry you always say, what is street smartness is. So maybe I can explain. We talk about the three competencies. One is communication, critical thinking. These are the three C's which we say, which is most important for you. Let me talk about communication. What is communication is about? Communication is like your the very first mask of you, outer dimension of you. When somebody reaches you, discuss with you, he judges you based on your communication. Like how dressing sense is very important for us, the communication is a very important fact for everybody's life. Okay, not necessarily that, okay sir, I am not good in English. No problem, you can start practicing that. Every language can be, if you put an effort, you can learn the language. That's not at all an issue. But how your body language for the language is important. Your tone, the body language and the tone, these two contribute to the maximum. The rest comes to your words. So communication is a most important thing. Now within communication, now when I greet you people like vanakkam, you get a feel, oh sir வந்து தமிழ்ல நம்ம சொன்னது ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியா இருக்கு. Similar way, when you talk to somebody in their language, it gives a greater impact to the people. So I traveled to a lot of countries. When I said also that, so lots of travel every year. But when I go to different countries, at least few words I used to understand the previous day, greeting them. When I'm in Germany, I say guten Tag. When you say guten Tag to a German, and he gets the feel happiness and he expresses his. So when you talk to people in their own language, it creates a good starting point of a discussion, and also building a relation, networking with a person helps. So communication is a very important thing that way. And you should try to learn also more and more languages. I mean, it's important that you understand the different thing. I mean, within India also we have different languages. Try to understand that. I mean, yes, I think Tamil is my core language. Yes, I need to know that and I can practice that. But still, if you want to interact with others, try to learn that language. I mean, so that will help you in your growth. And it's important that the cultural communication is also important. When you go to a region, there are certain things which you need to understand. What are the practices and what are some cultures in that region, and that also you have to. So what I'm trying to say is that the first most self a layer in you is a communication, and you need to without a communication nobody can survive. So start practicing. If you want to grow globally, English becomes a very important one. Start practicing English vocabulary and so on. So that is going to help you a lot in your growth. Next comes the networking, for example. Co-working and networking. Always I felt that networking helps a lot in your journey. Networking can be your peers, your friends, your relatives, or could be your professors, your industry friend, many people, and build this relationship. Because when you have to grow, this networking plays a very big role. A presence in social media, of course, a decent presence, I would say. When I say social media, sir said social media let me now become popular in social media. No, a decent presence in social media is also important, but important is the teamwork. You as an individual cannot be successful. You as a team can be successful. When you enter into any industry, you will always attach to a team. So practice the team games and practice the team building, and build the relationship. So if conflicts may happen in the relationship, but managing the conflict is most important. Don't avoid the conflict. Try to manage the conflict. Understand why this conflict has come. Do a kind of self-reflection. Every day, maybe in the evening, sit and understand why this conflict has come, why the person has behaved like this, what is the change I can bring on my side to do that. And this is most important. So networking is the one which brings. I'm not saying that I was saying about my travel, right? When if I'm a food lover, and if I go to any part of a country, when you land in the amount of happiness you get, That is possible when you have a friendship. I enjoyed that, and that's why I'm saying that. I used to say in my with my family that wherever I go, I eat like what I'm eating at home. Because of the friends. When I say that I'm coming, there is a friend there to receive me. Either it be my personal friend or my official friend, whoever may be. But then it is possible because of a networking. So try to build the network, and then this networking will help you. And in the days to come, the people who get connected, for example, somebody would have got a job in a very good IT firm, say Infosys or Wipro, wherever maybe. And then if you have a connect, always, it builds, and if he is able to, if you have a better connection with him, he would be able to also help you in getting in there. Yeah. So this is where the networking is important. Appreciate the people. Appreciate even a small things done by your friends or your peers who are then. Appreciation culture is most important in the team. This thing. So sometimes you may feel that, oh, it's a small things, but be vocal and be appreciate the team. Whatever happened with the team, so appreciate them. That's most important. Critical thinking. What is critical thinking? So we say in our engineering term PDCA: plan, do, check, and act. Anything you do, start with the planning, do the work, and then check again and again, calibrate yourself. So which means PDCA. So in the life, the problems will always come, whether it's a work or personal, wherever that. It is not that somebody can live a very, very happy life without an issue. No, this is not an ideal, ideal never happens in life. So you will have challenges. Every day you will have challenges. It can be work related or it could be personal or something. So, but the point is that when you get into the trouble, you need to use that into a learnings, how I can learn from the issues. How do I learn from the mistakes? That's most important. So critical thinking is understanding the problem, and apply your mind to that. Why this problem has happened? What is the root for the problem? And work for the solutions. And assume nothing, question everything. Go deeper into it. So when you go deeper into the understanding, deeper into the issues, then you would be able to find the root cause of a problem. If you try to solve the problem from a superficial, it would be an iceberg. You see maybe very little on the top, but then the bottom, it would be huge rock. Yeah, you don't know that. So go deeper into it. Try to understand more and more, question everything, and then you will find a solution to that. So I always recommend the people that do a self-reflection, if not a day, but at least once a week. Sit together, calm, quiet, and understand what you have done that week and what is that you need to learn from that week's your work. So try to learn that and do self-reflection, and what is that you did good and what is that you need to improve well. So these are the things, something which will make you improve. Business success. What is business success? What are the companies looking at it? And what are the factors the companies? We always say that cost, speed, quality, and service. Maybe I explain this. What is this? Because you need to understand that when you join a company, or when you become an entrepreneur in any organization, or you build your own. So you need to understand what the consumer is looking for: cost, speed, quality, and service. So always say these four goes in hand in hand. That's not that I can be only a cost leader and speed, quality, and service is back. No, it doesn't happen like that. Let me explain you with an example. Let's say if you want to go to a doctor. Can I put mute for the people?
Participants, mute your mic. Surya Prakash, I don't know who all is opened. Surya Prakash, you can mute them, sir. Surya Prakash.
Yeah. So, so cost, speed, quality, and service. So these all four factors go hand in hand. Let me give an example. Let's say you go to a doctor. Yeah, this doctor, let's say he charges only 100 rupees per visit, for example. But you need to wait for his appointment. You have to wait for 3 hours to get his appointment. Will we go to this doctor? No, right? So let's say we have a doctor, good doctor. He charges only 100 rupees. Good speed. You can, as soon as he go to the clinic, you can see him maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes. But his quality, the treatment what he gives, the consultancy and things and service is bad. Will we go again with the doctor? No, right? So we get satisfied only reasonable cost at a reasonable speed and a very good quality and a service. Even if I say that your cost is good, speed is good, the doctor is reasonable cost, good speed, and even if you go to the doctor one time, you get cured, but his service is bad. He is a doctor, shouting nature. He irritates you, shouts at you. Would you go to the doctor again? No, no. So these four factors are most important: cost, speed, quality, and service, and all these things for go hand in hand. So think on that when this is most important when you enter into a career. Let me talk about knowledge, creativity, and passion. What is attitude? People say attitude, maybe Tamil, yeah. So attitude is the one very, very important one. We say that intrinsic motivation, intrinsic, it comes from your heart. You have to get yourself motivated. Sometimes you may reach or you may end up with some failures. In our terms, we used to say fail fast, fail cheap. When in an R&D environment, what do you mean by fail fast? Is when you do any activity, if you fail early, it's good, and because it's cheap. If I work on a project and if the project is not successful after 4 or 5 years, which means I had put lots and lots of effort, money in that project. So after 4 or 5 years, I fail, is a effort loss and cost loss. Whereas if I fail earlier, it's good for other organization. So that's why we say fail fast, fail cheap. So the failure is coexist with us. So don't get wind with failures. Failures would always be there. When I'm in the engineering background, that's why I'm saying when we do a project, 10, for example, if I do 10 project, maybe 8 project may not be successful. Maybe only 2 project would be successful. So I need to always motivate the team. No, guys, don't worry about it. Let's attempt another thing. Let's learn from the mistake. This is important. You have to learn from the mistakes. What did the mistake I did in that 8 projects? And what did I learn from the 2 projects which made me successful? So that makes the difference. So for this, the intrinsic motivation is more important. People say, all the birds find the shelter during the rain, but eagle, flies above the cloud during the rain and takes the shelter. So, and that's the most important. So you have to find the way, and for that, the motivation, internal motivation is most important. And that's where the attitude is. The Anugumurai becomes most important. Now comes the principles, the knowledge. So, which is in Tamil, we say Arivu, right? Arivu. So, what is knowledge? Knowledge is the one what you learn in universities, what you learn in the colleges, whatever the theories you need, A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus 2AB plus B square. That's what you learned in the college. That's theory that goes into your brain. Yeah. And this is also most important. Yeah. You need to understand the basics. Without the basics, you cannot do. Everybody cannot be a very practical oriented guy without studying. Yes, there may be few guys who are successful, but not all. So the knowledge, what you learn in the universities, college is most important. The theories are most important. Thirukural, Selvathil Selvam, Sevichelvam, Achelvam, Selvathil Ellam Thalai, So you need to learn the subjects. That's most important. But the very important thing is how you apply that. That's what that at the right time and the right place. This is most important, and this is where many people are very successful. Because the learning comes, the people are, everybody is in the world are knowledgeable. One or the other. Somebody may be knowledgeable in history, somebody in geography, somebody in computer science, somebody in electronics. But then, when whatever you learned it, how you are going to apply that in your life is most important one, and that has to be done at the right time, at the right place. Let me give an example. Steve Jobs again. He did the iPad, for example. Yeah, the iPad, if you look at it, it has a capacitive touch. The display is of capacitive touch. He bought the capacitive touch in 1995 itself. He wanted to bring that as a product, but in 1995 he was not successful. He tried. He was trying to launch the product, but like the BlackBerry or Nokia, the keypad was there. But then when he came back with the same idea with a little more tunings, little more cosmetic changes in 2005, 10 years later, he was successful, because that time it was important that such gadgets with a touch screen was needed for the generation, though the older generation did not opt for it. Yeah, so you need to apply that ability at the right time, at the right place. So this is called the skill, which is called in Tamil thiramai. Then comes the creativity. The secret of success in business is the creativity. Yeah, in Tamil they say padaipaatal, right? So creativity. What is creativity? Be creative in the things what you do. Don't repeat, don't copy the things. I mean, many companies also, some companies are so successful in copying, but even if you copying, be creative with some ideas. The creativity is the one which helps. I give an example of the Japanese soap firm. Like that, there are several examples we can use for creativity. The creative thinking, so on. So bring those creativity in the solutions, whatever you do. It could be a products, or it could be anything. I mean, it could be, say for example, somebody in the college, asked to give a session or something. You are asked to lead an event. Be creative. Find some creative ways of conducting the event. For example, it's not that you have to be creative only with product, solution, software, or hardware. We do no. Be creative in thinking. Be creative in your actions. That is also the other factor which is seen as a differentiators. I need not explain this car. I think Tata Nano car. When it comes passion, it always the Nano car comes to my mind, because I was closely associated during the development of nano cars. Being again in the automotive space in 2007, when Ratan Tata felt that affordable 1 lakh car for India, everybody laughed at him. And why this person had this? Because Ratan Tata had a passion to offer a low-cost mobility solutions to Indian customers. That was his passion. And when he had a passion, he started driving the passion to the next level people, and the people started driving. Unfortunately, the car is successful, but not successful. But that's a different story. That's a different school of thought. A lot of discussion happened in Harvard why this is not successful and so on. That's a different story, which I'm not. But the way the man who drive the car with the passion, the good example is Tata Nano. 2007, when they say 1 lakh rupees, this car is, everybody said, the world is said laughing. Is it possible? Because if you take an engine that time, the engine alone was about 1.6, 1.7 lakh. How a company can offer a car for 1 lakh rupees price, not the cost, it's a price. And everybody said, no. But then this person drove that his passion to the next level, and they were able to. And we were the one who were also very much involved. When my time in Bosch, I was the person, I was responsible for the engine management. Engine management is, you have a gasoline or diesel engine in the vehicle, and you have an engine management, to provide the right fuel at the right time to the vehicle. Yeah. So the engine should get the right fuel at the right time, so that the injection happens at the right time, so the emission levels are controlled and you get a proper power to that. Yeah. So that's what the injection system is about. So designing that system, along with the engine is like a raw component. It's like a die casting component, like an aluminum thing. It's like a raw. But then making a soul to that is the job of the engine management guys, the people like us. So we worked very hard on that. And when we took this idea to our German counterpart, they said, sorry, this is not possible. We have not done that. Then we came up with the smallest ECU. We were able to do an ECU, which is the visiting car size. The conventional ones were 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. From there, we came to a visiting card of sensors. We brought that into software. Yeah. You have, let's say you have 10 components, injector, actuator, sensors, and understand that, and understand the behavior of engine, and put that behavior of engine in your software. Yeah. Those are the things, that made that to the car was affordable. Maybe not, they were not able to sell for 1 lakh, but they were able to sell for 1.2, 1.3 lakh. But still it was an achievement, So while we did this, and we also learned a lot, this exercise, how to make such a simplified system for that. And unfortunately, this did not sell well in India, but I'll tell you that the engine management, which was done by Bosch, now it has been sold worldwide now. The system, which is called a value motronic, is being sold very well in China, Brazil, Russia, being sold. Unfortunately, the car, but for that the reason is different. But what I'm trying to say is the passion driven by the founder Ratan Tata that gave this thing, and he had the passion to drive the low cost mobility for India. Yeah. Uh, Last but not least is the dedication, commitment, and hard work. And this is where I would say this is the most important than the five things which I spoke about it. Yeah, all the five things are little later, but you need to do a committed hard work with a dedication, and this is the most important time, most important in your. So then you can ask me, sir, you said you have to be street smart. Yes, you have to be street smart. That doesn't say that you don't do hard work. You need to do hard work, and you are a very young generation. You need to learn a lot, and you need to stretch your limits and be committed. And if you're able to do that, and the results will start falling on you. So the dedication and commitment and hard work is a very important. Nothing comes easy in this world. Yeah. Because fittest is a survival, we know that. I mean, fittest is a survival. This is not just applicable for only human beings, it's also for animals as well. Yeah. So you have to be fittest. And how you can be fittest? Not just only physically, but also mentally and also professionally. If you have to be professionally fit, you need to be dedicated and you need to be committed and do the hard work. Yeah. And sometimes, sorry that I use my example, but this is an experience which I get. My guys used to say, my team, so whenever I have some team meetings, sir, your approvals are so fast. When the people write me email or approval, within 10 minutes they get the reply from me. Yeah, this is because of the limits which I stretch. I just gets up early and I stretch also my days early. When I say this, I'm not saying that you should you should not have a family and work-life balance. Work-life balance is the most important thing, but I'm saying at the same time, be committed and do the hard work, and the hard work always pays you the return. So this is for example, some of the times, my people say, sir, how you manage your things, when we used to approach you for the approvals, and in instant we used to get that. So that's the thing, how you manage that, and give importance to the people. And if somebody is waiting for your approval, or somebody is waiting for feedback from you, which means not only you are wasting your time, you are also wasting his time, because he is idle and he is waiting for you, and it's a waste for the industry. So we should avoid the waste. So for that, our response should be faster. If our response has to be faster, then our decision making has to be faster. So for that, I think the dedication and commitment plays a major role, which personally I felt that is most important, which I started practicing it, and I saw the good results. A few examples which I want to show you before I end the session. Maybe we can move into question and answer sessions. Minda Group. Some of you may be aware. You can go and check in the internet that Minda is a very famous company for lock. You see the keys. The conventional keys. Minda is the #1 in India and also #2 in the world. Yeah, when it comes to keys and key locks. Yeah. So this company is doing this for 50+ years, doing the key. I said to my chairman that we are going to kill our own product key to a system which is keyless entry system. He said, are we crazy? Why should we shoot our own foot? I said, yes, if you are not able to do that, and competitor is going to do that. So a journey which I want to pick up one of the example. We have several such examples today. So I said to my leadership team that, guys, we have to now move in the journey of key company to a keyless company. Yeah. And in the keyless means you can access the vehicle through smart mobile, or you keep your fob in your pocket, you just go near your car and automatically the authentication happens and you start the car. This week we talk about PEPs, passive entry, passive start. This feature is started coming in the vehicles now. I don't know how many of you know Bajaj e-Chetak. The Bajaj has launched an electric vehicle called e-Chetak, and e-Chetak is with this feature called a keyless entry systems. And this is the first of its kind in India, done by my team. Where you get a time, you go to YouTube, download that and see that how Bajaj e-Chetak is working without key. Yeah. So without key means you can keep the key. It's a LF/RF based system in your pocket. You go near your two-wheeler. Already the authentication is happened through your LF, and you can also locate your car parked in a vehicle in a garage or whatever, using the answer back system and so on. Yeah. And my team already working on for a keyless entry system. We have prototypes available. You just go near your car knows that you are an owner. The people ask how it is possible. It's possible because today the smart mobile phone knows you better. The smart mobile phone knows your favorites, your favorite food, and the smart mobiles knows you everything about you, your personal one, which home you go, your first wife, second wife, everything is known to your smart mobile. So can the same thing can be replicated in a car? When you go near your car can also sense you based on your gesture, based on your the behavior, based on your maybe your thumb impression, many things, so artificial intelligence also plays a major role in this. So the future vehicles are going to be more and more keyless, and it could be based on gesture or it could be based on artificial intelligence or whatever, but our team is working on it. So this is what I was also talking related to the disruption. So maybe I can just continue to sell the keys, for a longer time, yeah, and be the leader. But then at a point it may came like the story happened to Nokia, or the story which I was explained to Kodak, it may happen to anybody. So prepare for the disruption. So and this is one of the things which my team has done recently, moving a company which is doing a key to a keyless company. So a few words about our group. We are about 16,000 people, various locations in India, 31 plants worldwide, 5 countries, and we have very strong presence in India. About 27 or 26 plants of us are in India. Rest all are outside, distributed geographically across the globe. We are the one who supply to nearly all segment. You take any two-wheeler, any product you take, whether it's a mirror or switch or lock, electronics, ECUs, we are there and we are supplying. And we are giving a competition to all the biggies like Bosch, Contis, Delphis, and so on. And not only that, our partnership, we have a very good joint venture partnership with various companies. We are one of the biggest development, 500 plus strength of people, engineering capability, Pune and Bangalore. We have a small office in Bangalore, the headquarters in Pune. One of the big embedded development houses are there, and we have all the facilities, DSIR approved and ISO audited company, enable accredited. We have engineers, 30% master degree to PhD holders, and we are making more and more. And one of the latest technology like cyber security, functional safety, AutoSAR, these are some of the things which are upcoming to automobile industry. The team is already working on that. So that's about me and my team, and we would be moving further up, and we have really a big plan in India to become a leader in the automotive area, especially the electronics area, because the electronics content in the vehicle today, it's less than 10%. It is expected to grow more than 40%. So whoever there, electronics or computer science or electrical, your future is going to be bright, not only in the automotive, I'd say everywhere, the IoT, Internet of Things, Industry 4.0, and more embedded electronics, IoT, artificial intelligence are going to come in the future. So get prepared yourself for this, and that's most important. That's what I wanted to say, that the disruptions are expected, and the transformations are faster than what you can see in the past. Example to say that again I quote the automotive because automotive my core. An engine which is gasoline or a diesel today, it took more than maybe about 6 or 7 decades, 70 years to mature to the today's location, to today's evolution. But believe me, in the next 1 decade, entire thing is going to get changed to electric vehicles. So 7 decades of your internal combustion engine may get changed into 1 decade. So that's the disruption and that's the transformation the world is heading. So please get prepared for that. And this is my summary, the last slide. No shortcuts in life, and you need to step is most important. Dream big, but just not only dreaming, dream with actions, always with actions, and please be time bound actions. When you think it, I want to achieve something beyond or before this year, yeah, keep that time and start tacking for that, and that's why then your dreams can become reality. Yeah. And improve your communications. That's most important, because communication is the firstmost layer for you. How the clothing is important, your dressings are important, same way a communication skill is important. And be smart. And knowledge is a very important. I said knowledge and skill set. Knowledge is the one which you learn, and skill set is the one you apply for it. and exhibit your passion in everything. Whatever you do, it can be a small thing. Show your passion, your energy, your enthusiasm. The people will appreciate. The team will appreciate. Your manager will appreciate. Your leader will appreciate. And the last but not least is the hard work and commitment, which is going to pay you. And that's my the last this thing. So I can say that I have not achieved great yet. So I just grown up in the ladder. But I still think that a lot more to achieve on me. There is a huge transformation which I want to bring it to the group which I am working now, bringing a huge team of engineers, thinking differently, out of the box, and so many things are happening. If you come to anybody, if you get a chance, if you visit these places, you may see the way that we are thinking towards the future, next 10 years. It's going to be tremendous. But this all happened because of the hard work and commitment. And I have personally seen, as I said, I am a Coimbatore guy. I am not born rich, and my grandfather is a farmer. My father is not rich, a middle class. And I started my career in Coimbatore. And now I'm outside the Coimbatore. But again, I say that I have not achieved yet. I am still an entrant in this field, much more to learn. So, but I personally feel that the hard work and commitment, and the honesty which I've displayed to the organization, that paid me back. I wish you all the very best to you all, and good luck to you, because you are in the early stage of career. But the opportunities are wide, very, very. I mean, nowadays, those times, when 94 I passed out, the opportunities are very, very limited, very limited. And getting such R&D opportunities were also very difficult that time. But total opportunities were also limited. Whereas now the global is open. Various fields are there, lots and lots of software electronics opportunities coming up, lots and lots of companies coming up. So you have a very, very huge opportunities. And for those opportunities, whatever I said, I'm sure if you start practicing, you will be successful. I wish you all the very best to you. Good luck. And I request you, take care of you and your family. And the pandemic is doing lots of challenge to all of us. And such sessions would have been face to face, would have been ideal. And I also promised Dr. Mahalakshmi ma'am that all of you when there is a chance. But today the situation is very challenging. So I request all of you to take care of you, your family. All the very best, and looking forward for your great career and successful career ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful session. Like, it was packed with combined with the technology, motivation, and it was a perfect combination, a perfect meal plate, because we are approaching lunch. So I could say it's a perfect combination was there on the plate. It was served very well, sir. Thank you also very much. Definitely, I would like you to have in face-to-face with our institution whenever you are there, coming down to Coimbatore. Definitely, we'd like to have your presence, sir.
Definitely.
And now it's my students' turn to interact with you.
Absolutely. I'm also, maybe we can do it next 15-20 minutes, no problem.
Yes, sir.
So I'm ready for the questions, students. I think let me understand
you. You can unmute yourself, my dear students, and talk to sir. Unmute yourself. Only if you're not able to unmute, put in the chat window that you are not able to unmute. We will see what to be done.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Bhavya here. I'm from the CIII department. And I have a question for you, because last night I went through the company's web, everything about you. So one thing is that from being a fresher and moving into Pricol, and after 8 long years, you got into Bosch. And again, from there, you got into Spark. So in this 20 years of experience, was this thing called transition very difficult for you? And if at all it was, how did you adapt?
Good question. Kavya, right?
Bhavya.
Bhavya. Very good question, Bhavya. Yeah. So yes, transformation was there. From Precall to Bosch to Spark Minda. The transformation is not just only with me, and the people have to adapt to the transformation. Yes. Let me talk about the initial times. The time when you move from a typical Indian company to Indian environment, to a German company which is a much more process oriented knowledge source, yes, you need to have a different approach. Yeah. But always I find that during this transformation, basics, stick on to your basics. When our basics are good, our basics is easier. Yeah. So the transformation from a typical Indian company where you learned and made your hands dirty. Yeah. So those 8 years, sometimes, those time there were people with me who were joining me, leaving in 1 year, 2 years. And I can see that I'm not quoting them. Some of my people who have worked that time, even still junior in the same company which I am working, or also some people in Bosch. Yeah. But taking a longer time there has helped me, making our hands dirty. Yeah. So when you make her hands dirty, you learn a lot, and then moving into somebody company which is more structured and more process oriented, then you adapt your leadership or adapt your style differently. Yeah. And many people think that this also, that's why I said the good question. When somebody gets a job, like Infosys, Bosch, Wipro, it's good. As soon as I passed out, I mean, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but believe me that you have a limited learning opportunity there. You need to do beyond that, because these companies, the big companies, there is more process oriented approach for the people. And for example to say, you go to a big company, you need not do coding. You need to only do the blocks of the coding. There is an auto tool generator which generates the coding. So where is the fun for you to learn the coding? So when you get an opportunity to work in a small firm, you get an opportunity to make your hands dirty. Yeah? So that's what the journey that, the initial time, such companies, the 8 years, very hard work, they squeeze you to nuts and bolts, such Indian companies, learn that maximum, you use your skills and learn that, and use that in the companies where you transform. So that was a good journey for me when I moved into Bosch, and 15 years journey was very enriching, because first 2 years I have to move to Germany, 2003, 2004, 2 years working there. And I was the first guy in the product development of Bosch. Yeah? So I need to work with the Germans to bring the knowledge to India. That was the task given to me. And it was very easy for me, because I learned a lot during my 8 years time, how to do a hardware development, how to do a software coding. If I would have not gone there to a country like Germany, where the people are quite knowledgeable, I would have faced a difficult task. So that was a transformation which the people have, I have adapted it, and then came back, setting up a huge team here in Bangalore and then Coimbatore. And then my second stint again, when I moved into again to the second stint too, I was a head of a division there, and the division had a strength of 500 people. Then I have to change my transformation to leadership skill. So you, as an Indian, you are going to be in Germany, and there are Germans, Austrians, French guys reporting to you. So now you cannot be a typical Indian. Now you have to show your international skills. You have to behave like a real global leader. Yeah. Then you transform from a kind of an international global player. Then I felt that, what is that? This job is boring for me. I have not achieved really, because it looks like very stagnated, and I'm doing anything more related to process. Then I felt that no, I have now to change to a different company where I need to do something different. I need to bring them new ideas, new technologies. So then Spark Minda attracted me. So when I joined this company, which was only some 30, 40 engineers, today we have around 500 plus engineers working only in the technology. I'm talking only the engineering strength. We have around 16, 17,000 people. I'm talking only that. So now working on a new thing. So now I cannot now expect here another transformation. There is a very good process company in Germany. I cannot now expect Bosch here in Spark Minda, because again, it's a typical Indian company, where funds are limited, and you need to build your own process. You need to build your own team. So we need to have another transformation here. So yeah, transformation is a journey, and we all have to adapt, and you need to also change yourself. But I would say that stick on to your basics, and make your hands dirty. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is Vishalni, and you would have seen many fresh graduates in your experience. What is that you feel they lack once they get into the industry?
Again, good question, Vishalini. I would, time being, let me keep the technology, technical knowledge backseat. Yeah. When, as a fresher, when you come out, I was also talking in my slide, uh, communication is most important, especially the people who come from um, small towns. I wouldn't say Coimbatore a small town, but kind of medium town. Very, very important is, build your communication. Yeah. This is one big challenge, which the people say that when you hire a person from cities like Chennai or Bangalore or Hyderabad, you find people very good in communication, whereas small towns the communication is lag. So this is maybe also perception. Yeah, I don't know, maybe perception. But believe me that when I was in Coimbatore, Bosch Coimbatore, we hired people left and right from Coimbatore. We hired, and I always say that uh, Coimbatore has a better knowledge source than Bangalore. I used to fight for that within Bosch. Okay, that's a different story. So important is that your communication. Yeah? Build your communication, strong communication, which is most important, because when you interact with the people, if somebody has to build a real, discussion with you, you have to in such an environment you need to write emails, talk to the people, attend meetings. So important is that your communication. How you do the communication. Second, I said, keeping again the knowledge, skill, and all outside. And second, I said, your hard work, which is nothing but go deeper into the topics, and try to learn things. That way, I would say that it is again as an advice, nothing to try to work in sometimes, core companies. The companies are the companies which does more and more technology related jobs. Why? Because many people, maybe we are also forced sometimes, we get into back office work, sometimes support work and so on. Yes, temporary we get some good pay, but then it is not a long standing career, right? Because you can be replaced by anybody, in that job. So look for a core company if you are able to get it, and don't get stagnated when you join a big company. This is a problem. Many times I used to say that many good guys, when they get into big companies, then they become I settled in that company. No, don't have a settled feeling. So being a fresher, you come from college. I said first is a communication, improve good and communication. Second, hard work, put extra bit of hard work, and if possible try to join a company which is a core in nature, and that should always go to your wishes and your career plan. If somebody wants to be, I got to be in the electronics area, try to choose the electronics. Somebody want to be in a IT kind of an environment, somebody want to be in a networking environment, try to choose that, so that the passion or the interest within you can be exhibited by you. So I would say that are some of the advices. I mean, yes, I would say so. Hard work and practice the hard work. I think that will give you a result.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good
This is
afternoon.
Aishwarya from Computer Science Department. I have a
Yes,
question for
Aishwarya.
you, sir. Being a computer science engineer, what would be the role for us in your company if we wish to do any internship or further for our job? What would be the role for us in your company for computer science engineers?
Okay, a good question again. Okay, in our current firm which I'm working, Spark Minda, we are more, I would say, yeah, a mechatronics company. Means our products are more and more mechanical with more and more electronics. So our opportunities are more wider for people who comes to the electronics related stuff. Somebody who has embedded software developer or embedded hardware or electronics hardware, power electronics. So more and more opportunities. But having said that, we do hire people who are in embedded codings, like C codings. Somebody who can make a good architecture design in embedded, and building the software logics for embedded. So the things. So being a computer science graduates, your knowledge on the electronics may be a little bit limited. When I mean limited, the electronics and communication or electrical electronics, they have better knowledge than it. So obviously a firm like us may choose to go with the electronics graduate. But having said that, we do have few candidates who are of computer science, who do more of coding related stuff in embedded coding, C coding. We do have now some area which is opening, which is called the test automations. When we develop the products and we need to do lots and lots of software tests, and which was earlier more manual. Now we are doing more and more automated tests. So doing automated test scripts, I heard the language called Python scripting and so on. These are also some of the things which are upcoming. So those are the areas can also be where you can start practicing to get into. So I'm saying that not that our company alone, a kind of company like us, like Spark Mindas, Mindas, or many such electronic Lumax, many automotive companies are there. So I'm saying for that. So that could be the test script development, like this Python related stuff can be another area. Also now, lots and lots of mobile apps are coming up. So for example, when we work on a mobility space, we also hire people who are knowledgeable in an Android development and iOS related development. So it's another area which also career opportunities exist. And also the operating systems related could also be another area where we take people with a computer science background. Yes. Having said that, yes, we have little limited opportunities, but still, if you are knowledgeable and knowledge enough, and if you're able to pass through the interviews, I'm sure there are good opportunities.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Sriram. How to apply the knowledge you learned? Is this a question? Okay. How to apply the knowledge which you learned? Okay. Right. Okay, so I would say that, so whatever the knowledge which you learned, it is only your first pedestal. I would say very, very basics. For example, you learned a plus b whole square, a square plus 2ab plus b square. In real life, you cannot apply a square plus 2ab plus b square in real life. Yeah, these are very, very basics of you. For example, you might have learned in your education how to do a coding, what is C language is about, how Java programming is done. So those are the basics you have learned during the college or curriculum. Yeah. But unfortunately, what happened is our industry today is moved ahead of there is always a gap. And this gap is today, we say around 5 to 10 years gap, which means the people like us, industries, we use the development tools, environments, which are slightly ahead than the college. But always the basics, whatever you learn, is applicable elsewhere. Basics will not change. Yeah? Yes, maybe the tool set may change, the environment, the microcontroller which you work, the programming language which you choose may change. So the basics are the ones which you will always have to apply for it. Yeah. So if somebody has learned the programming of Java or programming of maybe Python, so the architecture, how a system architecture is done, how a networking architecture is, those are the basics are applicable, and that will definitely help you. And but most cases, what happens, I have also seen in with my experience, but maybe now 25 years, the people who have studied now with me more and more electronics. But today, I see very hardly people in the electronics area. Like me, maybe about only some 4 or 5 people are there. And the rest of in our class, there were 60 people. 55 people are doing a job which is completely different than they learned. Yeah, this may also happen. I'm saying, yeah, in the life, this may also happen that what you studied, you may go completely drift out to a different field. Yeah, it may happen. In that case, it's always, it's a mindset. You need to learn that in there. So then you keep your basics intact, whatever you learned it, and try to learn something new. For example, I said electronics. Today, maybe in our people who are most people in US or in Europe, they are all working more into a kind of a IT or non-IT. Somebody is in the banking sector, and somebody is working in a college as a professor. So it has changed, because so not many on the course. So you can also adapt yourself during the course of your entry into an industry. So yeah, so I can only say that apply your basics.
Connected cars.
Yeah. So, see, if you look modern cars now, more and more electronic. If you look older cars, more carburetor-based systems, where it's more passive system. Passive system means what? You accelerate, you press the accelerator. There is a lever, and that lever is to pull the a fuel pump. When you pull the mechanical fuel pump, the fuel used to go into that, and then you inject the air. Yeah. So it's purely mechanical, but nowadays, if you look at the car, it's more and more electronic. Yeah, more and more electronics means you have a completely engine management microprocessor based system which calculates the driver demand. When you now same accelerator, whatever you give driver demand, there is a sensor there that senses that the driver is pressing and he wants more speed, and that is converted into voltage, and the voltage goes into your microprocessor, and that voltage is converted into a software, and the software then triggers the injector for the fuel. Yeah. So more and more electronic, like with ABS, airbag, ESP, many things there. What happens in that? When you bring more and more electronics into it, it is vulnerable for attacks. What kind of attacks? If I say, for example, that a terrorist can also easily attack a vehicle. How it is this possible? It's possible. Let's say now you take a vehicle. There is a concept called FOTA. I don't know how many of you, firmware over the air update. It's called FOTA. Now, every vehicle in the car have a device which is called as telematics device. Yeah, the telematics device in a car is connected to all the other devices, which means you have an ECU for engine, you have an ECU for your braking system, you have an ECU for your vehicle access. There are several ECUs are connected through a network called CAN area network. So now this network can be more vulnerable. Example to say. I don't know how many of you know Tesla cars in US, which is now a popular car. When recently there was a flood in the car, they were able to, using the telematics device, they reprogrammed the ECUs on a vehicle during the flood time, and the range of the electric car was extended by about 50 or 60 miles, means about 80 kilometers. Means during the flood time, Tesla launched a software over the air, and like your mobile, car can get the data, update the software within your car, and then you can drive for 80 kilometers more. This was a super duper feature. Yeah, fantastic feature for us, and this is going to come in our car. But now this has a drawback. What happens if somebody misuses that? Yeah, people can misuse it. Misuse means some terrorist wants to take a control of your car is possible. Means if he can access you through an IT device, it could be telematics device, or it could be an engine management device, anything. You go in a car, there can be neighbor car can communicate to your car through a Bluetooth or through an LF, RF, or through the telematic device in your car. And that can say give a different thing. For example, engine management is waiting for your driver demand. Yeah, let's say an intruder, you are trying to park a vehicle, but an intruder thing gives such a signal to the ECU as you are pressing high. So what will happen? It will go and dash the other car. Yeah? So imagine that this kind of things happen in countries like Europe, where you drive in a highway, where you're driving at 160, 180 kilometers, and some intruder enters and then misuses, and then when you want to stop the car and then it accelerates, or when you want to apply the brake, it doesn't apply the brake. Yeah? They can create a huge havoc in the system. So that's why the cyber security is occurred. So every ECU in a vehicle now has a cyber security stuff. It's a software stack which will go into the engine management or any use of it, and then it evaluates whether the right user is asking for access, and it evaluates, it do some checks and balances, and then provides access to these. So these are the things which will come. So that's where the cyber security plays a role.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Keetana from Computer Science Department. Sir, my question is, many of the candidates nowadays face the same problem is in the communication and interacting. They may be well versed in whatever they have done and whatever they have learned. But the final stage, when they are attending a meeting or whatever, it is they lack in the communication or interaction. So it is a common thing that everyone would face. What to do when we to do in situations, sir?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's again a good question. It's a barrier. I agree that this barrier will be there, and you will face this challenge when you attend interviews. Somebody of you not having a good communication when you attend such a good interviews, you will face this challenge. Yeah, so you have to come across that. I mean, there is no solution for that. But having said that, you have to start practicing the language. Again, I'll tell you, I would use my own example. I have not studied in an English medium until 12th standard. I studied in a government school Tamil medium. Yeah, and my vocabulary, English, and all these things came in my practice in my early career. So early career mean my first jobs. So you have to start practicing your language, and automatically it will come. So it's just question of it. And sometimes people are afraid to also communicate. Don't be afraid. Talk and start practicing it. When you start practicing it, it will come. And same thing also, when I go to other countries, I can also say that clearly. I can also speak German, for example. Yeah, but it was also challenge during the time when I moved to a new country, where the crowd is speaking. I mean, countries like Germany, where the people don't speak in English. I'm talking about 20 years before 2002 when I went in. The country is so much, they will not speak in English. They will speak only in German, and you need to learn that. It was hard for me first 2 years, but then after 2 years, I started practicing. Then it was so there is no solution available. There is no medicine available for that. I think you need only medicine is practice. I think you need to practice that.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
Any questions from the mechanical
Sir, I am up
side?
again once again for a question.
Your voice is breaking, ma.
This is Bhavya here again. Ma'am, can I take this chance?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
now
better.
clear.
Better, yeah.
Yeah. So the question is for both our Dean, Dr. K. Mahalakshmi ma'am, and to sir as well. So for sir, so when I took a look at this website of yours, I found your business verticals to mention that you have been doing your work on basis of mechatronics, information connected systems, plastics in an automotive industry. That is a totally different industry. And for Mahalakshmi ma'am, the question is, how is it that you wanted us CSE students to witness this, ma'am?
Okay. I'll take up my part first, sir.
Yes.
The reason why I brought in CSE is like after I've been a couple of years back, I started a CIII conference like where I met sir also. That they were all talking about, so again automotive was the first thing that I started to invade into, to know about all based on a CSE person. After going and seeing that, I could see a tremendous change in the technology. And I was telling down my students, then 2018 I was telling, down the line after 5 years, definitely you are not going to have a branch called CSE, a standalone branch called IT. I told them that way after looking into what's happening in the industries, after hearing from so many key stakeholders from the industries, I was told them. And now we can also slowly the other branches have come up in engineering as with along our CSE or IT. It is like a data science, it is with the cyber security, it's with a what is it, machine learning, AI, BE, cyber security. Likewise, it has come. And down the line now, what is happening is all the verticals of engineering departments have started to get inside software coding also. It is along with their domain knowledge, they are now encompassed to learn coding, programming, that sort of mindset is there. So we software engineers, that is the CSE or IT people, we have to gear up and really take the quick step so that we also invade into other verticals of engineering and try to see where you can be interoperable with all engineering things. That just like from a sir's slide, I could take it from ignition key to keyless. When sir has to answer to his higher officials, oh, how come you are killing your own whatever the production part. He said, if I'm not doing it, I'm going to do it definitely. So I train that you start also putting yourself there. If it is AI applied in any dimension of engineering. If it's machine learning, it has to be applied in any other dimension. If it's going to be cyber security, you're going to apply this. Just knowing programming concepts alone may not make us fit to survive in the market. This was my observation so far, being with the industry trends and hearing from all the industry leaders. This is the knowledge that I gained. So this is the reason I have brought you people all in. And the second thing, part of it I would like to say is, I brought in all second years to catch you young and put in these things inside. It's a mechanical second year, CSE second years are there. I also wanted to accommodate electronics, Suresh sir, but due to my capacity of 100 participants, I was not able to pull them inside. Definitely they were in my mind. Maybe we will take it up this in another. This is just a kickstarting event. We are going to have a long way to go through. So we will do it. So Bhavya, I think I've done it. This is the reason. You can also hear from lot from Infosys people, TCS people, Cognizant people, but you need to hear from other verticals also. Find yourself where you can grab your share in system engineering. I think I've done it right with the consent from Suresh sir. I would like to. Yes, sir, your part.
Very well you covered. Very well you covered. So additionally, I can say that, see, today I have not talked anything subject today. I talked more of basics, how an industry where you can survive and you can have a successful career. Yeah. But extension of it, where yes, you find the industry like us quite different to computer science student. Opportunity for computers, I'm not denying. Thing is that you look at the companies, any automotive companies are thinking, what is future? Future, we say case, connected, autonomous, shared, and mobility. This is what the jargon we speak in automobiles. So connected mean everything will be connected. Autonomous, we will have a driverless cars. Shared, we will have a shared mobility, means we will have a Ola's, Ubers ruling the world. So like that, it is going in the world. So which means everybody has to do a role there. Yeah, a mechanical engineer has to do a mechanical, electronics engineer has to do a hardware embedded coding, and you have also as a computer engineer have to. So if you look at it, the companies like many automotive giants also, there are a lot of computer science people. Example to say, even Bosch Coimbatore, we used to people. The people are used to work in various programming like Java, C++, and kind of codings as well. So it is not that you are now into a different, don't feel like that. I mean, you went into a different field and now the changes are happening. But in your field itself, you can enter into this field by thinking of more of system, I think. Yeah. So you need to come out of software guys to a more a system guy. That's what I think Dr. Ma'am is saying, and I agree on that.
Any more questions, my dear students, from mechanical representation? Boys? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yes, please, Pa, it's yours. Any suggestions, feedback, anything you want to say to sir, mechanical side? Go ahead.
Any
Naveen and
doubts from
Arul Prakash is trying to unmute. Okay. Okay. Any person? Okay, sir. Okay, sir. It was wonderful and it was nice having her and from you also. We will hope to continue the same. It's a long journey, and it was for you to say that you have not achieved anything, but wondrous transitions and growth I could see done. And my students, I used to say, sir is the very one I met. I used to communicate with sir. I used to disturb him, WhatsApp, mail, phone call. Sir was pleasant enough to communicate and very nice human being. I'm so happy to have in that journal. I want to share that with my students. Yes, Kirtika, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Sur. Wonderful, motivating speech and informative presentation. Our students can able to learn how to. You give ideas about effective communication, thinking, etc. What are the key points we need to follow for success? And thanks for your experience, sir. You have given more information about Spark Minda groups. Thank you for sharing it here. You gave answers for the questions raised from the students. And also you said about the company's job opportunities. Definitely we will be approaching you if you give a chance for our students to get a job in your company, sir. Dear students, the feedback link is shared in the chat window and you are requested to fill it and mention what are the topics if you want to in the future webinars if you require. In this occasion, a special thanks to Dr. K. Mahalakshmi Ma'am, Dean KIT CIII, for organizing this webinar. I also wish to express my gratitude to our management, principal, vice principal, deans and HODs of various departments, faculty, friends, students for supporting us. Thank you all. Good day.
And it's for me as well. I think it's a good experience together to give more of technical sessions. Used to talk about technology transmissions, mechatronics, but to talk a personality trait or a successful career or industry to institution to industry kind of stuff was for me is also new. But I enjoyed the questions were also very crisp from the students. I see that a lot of brilliant students are there in this college. Looks like their questions are very, very sharp, very much to the point. The student seems to be very good in your college. I'm not exaggerating. I'm just saying truth because I too attended few sessions from other college. I think the questions from the students are very, very, which means a lot of brilliant people seems to be there in this batch. So I best students, I think, do well. And whenever you have something when you gain some experience and you want entry into some career, please approach my LinkedIn. I also use my LinkedIn to connect with people, so you can always approach me. I wish you all the very best and good luck for you.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you, students. Also,
Thank you.
I'm feeling great hearing from sir such words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And I will exit the discussion. Thank you. Good day.
Yes, sir. Good day, sir. We'll end the meeting. Thank you, sir.